behalf of the Kentville Wildcats to induct Ian Mosher into the team's Hall of Fame. In 1977, when the new Nova Scotia Senior Baseball League was formed and the Kentville Wildcats resumed their storied history, Ian became a charter member while also playing for the Nova Scotia Canada Games team. In the inaugural game of that first season, he banged out 2 triples and 2 singles in a sign of good things to come. Over the next 15 seasons, Ian would be consistently among the top hitters in the league. I could spit out a whole bunch of great year-over-year stats, but I don't have the time. However, I will touch on a few highlights. The Wildcats won 2 league titles and were in the finals on numerous occasions in a very tough league. A national silver in '81 and a gold right here in this beautiful ballpark in '85 were also achieved. In the gold medal game, Ian helped start a dramatic come-from-behind win by driving in 2 runs with a double in the 8th and driving in the winning run in the 9th. In 1990, Ian hit .439 with an on-base percentage of almost .600. It garnered him the league MVP award that year. Ian was also a terrific defensive center fielder. But it was not because of his blazing speed. It was because he got such a great jump on the ball, like he knew where the ball was going to come down before it was hit. I know, because I was the recipient of lots of his great catches. People who follow the Cats watched him give 100% every game, no matter if the score was 1-0 or if the score was 10-0. Whether there was 5 people in the stands or 5,000 people in the stands, he always played the same way, the sign of a true competitor. Other highlights included hitting over .300 at the age of 44, and after transitioning from the outfield to the wherever you need me position, he caught games at the age of 57. How'd the knees feel after those games, buddy? Pushed by necessity, he took over the coaching reins while still playing. Of course, that resulted in numerous Coach of the Year awards. There were some great years and some years where his teams overachieved, which of course is a sign of a good coach. Then there were the years that without Sandy Van Blarcom and Ian Mosher's tireless work, the team wouldn't have survived. At different times, Ian was player, coach, teammate, mentor, friend, confidant, shrink, statistician, travel secretary, equipment manager, and the best damn BP pitcher around. His contribution cannot be overstated. There are only 2 players in the history of the Wildcats to reach 2,000 plate appearances, and they are both named Ian. Future Hall of Famer Ian Lockhart and Ian Mosher. I will finish by trying to articulate just how big a fingerprint this man has had on the Kentville Wildcats and baseball in general in this area. Since that first ball game against Dartmouth back in 1977, including this year's Wildcats, and with a handful of exceptions, virtually every player who has ever worn a Wildcats uniform has either had Ian as a teammate or been coached by him. Over 43 years.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot think of a more deserving inductee to the Kentville Wildcats Hall of Fame than Ian Mosher. Now, if I could direct your attention to the right center field fence, longtime Wildcat assistant Chris Rocky Randall will unveil Ian's number 29.
Oh, can't see it.
now that Ian's lifelong friend and teammate, Barney Van Blarkum, present Ian with his induction plaque. Time is 7:35.
Like right here. Okay. I'm just gonna park it right here.
Yep.
Okay, I'll go closer.
Thank you to the NSSBL for giving us something to watch other than election results tonight. Fantastic.
Got it, you got it.
Not all Hall of Fame careers start like Mike Trout. As a skinny little guy from Wolfville, I showed up here about mid-1970s and informed Eddie Gillis, who was already a 25-year legend, that I was his new third baseman. After he hit me about a dozen baseballs, I threw 6 of them off that canteen that had to be torn down as a result of it. And he told me he thought I'd make a great outfielder. And thus started a love affair that has me here every night from then until now. And I still love this place. A number of people have asked me, why do I wear number 29? Skinny little left-handed hitter, Rod Carew. Google it if you don't know who he was. But I'm going to accept this on behalf of at least a dozen people in this park tonight. Because there was a lot of nights I managed in this ball club wearing a jacket. Because somebody would show up at the park, forget their uniform, they wore number 29, and I wore a coat in 75 or 95 degree heat. So everybody, you all share in it too. I'm about to do the unthinkable because Bobby Gillis is here tonight. Bobby's been here as long as I have in this league, and for at least 2 full decades, he struck me out at least once a night. And he was that kind of player, and he's still that kind of competitor. But more importantly, on behalf of every fan in this valley that has come to this ballpark for the last 30 years, I would like us all to give Dartmouth a round of applause because they have been such good entertainment and such a great team for so long. Here's the unthinkable part. On Thursday night this week, 48 hours from now, Greg West is going to be inducted into Dartmouth's Hall of Fame. And we're going to give him a round of applause. And for 5 seconds, I'm going to wear a Moosehead Dry hat in honor of that, and don't anybody take a picture. Well, no, I'm not going to wear a hat.
Shut him up.
I'm going to try to roll through this. One of the guys here tonight that Billy already touched on is Sandy Van Blarkum. He was a founder of this league on a very night, 1977, a long time ago. And this league and this franchise wouldn't exist if it wasn't for him. He has, in subsequent years, done every job you can do And there's probably at least a dozen Van Blarkums here tonight making this game happen. So thank you to Sandy for that. I've already run into a number of my former coaches here tonight. I've got a little bit of a list. Peter Gocher, Bruce Ross, Jim Mosher, Jeff Lockhart, Todd Parker, Dave Cooper, Bucky Dent, Charlie Lau, Huey Bruce, and Ted King. Thank you to all of you for teaching me along the way. The people I'm maybe more happy than any to see out here tonight are all of my former players from everywhere. And the part that makes me the happiest is that I know that my legacy in this game is not going to be about anything that I did on the field, but how much you guys are all giving back to the game, coaching the next generation of kids. And I know there's at least 20 of you. Keep up the good work. It is a noble calling. To Burton Russell, I wish you were here. I don't think he is. I haven't seen him. He's chronicled everything we have done for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and did it before then. And it's all been published, and it's made our league more important. So I wish he was here. To John and Sarah, the head coach, thanks for saving the franchise. To Jake Lockhart, wherever you are, thanks for teaching us the importance of maintaining the field and having a professional quality product out here. The last one I'm going to single out is Chris Randall, who's proved coming out here for 40 years, every night, and never expect to play. Every team needs a person like that. And to the fans, you've been here in the rain when we were terrible, when we were great, but you've been here. And that's what makes other teams all over this country know that what a great place this is to come. And I want to single out Bunny Bennett to represent by keeping Midge's cowbell tradition alive. I've got at least a dozen family members here, and they're all over there in the Mosher box, as it was called for 40 years. My mother's sitting there handing out cookies since about 1970. When I was a baby, she used to tell me bedtime stories about what it was like coming to watch live baseball at this park. And it's still special, and I remember those stories. My brother's here. He's got his own championship ring. He was an RBI machine, and he's got a ring just like this one. To my wife, she has celebrated more anniversaries in NSSBL ballparks than gourmet restaurants. Now, any of you young guys thinking about maybe getting married someday, I would recommend that be a question you ask somewhere in the early going. I can't thank her enough for that. You'll forgive me. I need to read this, and I'm just about done. I think you'll know why I have to read it. By now, most of you know that I have a minor inconvenience that affects my health. Please don't anyone feel sorry for me. I continue to lead an amazing life, and tonight is evidence of that. I have an incredible support network of friends, family, work colleagues, at least 50 of whom are down there. medical professionals to help me through this. And I will willingly accept the generous donation of the Wildcats for the Society's behalf. In closing, I wish to offer up a challenge to both teams tonight. I hit homers in this league as a teenager, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, and 50-year-old. Top that. Good luck.
Holy moly, guys, we got a lot of people at the park tonight. Still time to come down if you want to check out the game. The Wildcats are taking on the Dartmouth Dry. It's going to be a barn burner. You just heard Ian Mosher challenge them to hit as many home runs as they possibly can. Hopefully they'll do it. I'm right in the way of East Link, so I'm going to go this way.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes this part of the ceremony. I just want to make one quick note. I was approached before the game by a gentleman named Dr. Doug Clark, who played on the 1976 Canadian National Junior Champions from Halifax, of which Ian and Sandy were part of. And Doug wanted to say a short few words, but because of our mic difficulties, Doug wanted to pass along his congratulations, and I thank him for that. Thank you. Apparently, Kevin Davidson is now going to sing the national anthem. Kevin.
I don't think he needs this.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
That it? Play ball.